Here are the Amish's 25 poverty hacks you'll wish you knew sooner. Potato water potash. In Amish kitchens, even the water from boiling potatoes is put to good use. After cooking, the cooled water, rich in minerals like potassium and trace nutrients, gets poured around vegetable plants or mixed into the compost heap. This simple act helps improve soil structure and boosts plant health, especially for tomatoes, peppers, and beans, which benefit from extra potassium. Make sure to use only unsalted water, since salt can harm plants. If you peel your potatoes before boiling, toss the peels into the pot as well for added nutrients. Pour this kitchen-made fertilizer at the base of your plants once a week during the growing season. Over time, you'll see stronger stems and healthier leaves. For even better results, alternate using potato water with cooled water left from steaming other vegetables. Store extra in a bucket for up to 2 days before it goes sour. Nature's plant food, straight from the kitchen. Marigold pest barrier. Did you know that marigolds have been used as natural pest deterrents for centuries? In fact, ancient Aztecs planted marigolds around crops to keep beetles and rabbits at bay long before modern insecticides. Amish gardeners follow the same practice, planting marigolds along garden edges and between rows of beans, cabbages, and tomatoes. Marigolds produce compounds that repel nematodes, aphids, and some beetles, while their bright blooms attract ladybugs and pollinators. To maximize the effect, sow seeds early in spring and deadhead spent flowers for more blooms. You can even plant marigolds near fruit trees to reduce certain moths. At the end of the season, collect seeds from dried flower heads for next year's planting. This keeps your pest barrier strong and costs low. If you have leftover marigold flowers, dry and crush them to sprinkle around indoor windowsills as a natural bug repellent. Spring-aged barn manure. For Amish families, spring-aged barn manure is a cornerstone of productive gardening. Each winter, manure from barns is piled and left to age, breaking down into a rich compost by spring. This aged manure is then spread across vegetable beds and gently worked into the soil, delivering a natural mix of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium that encourages robust plant growth. Always use well-aged manure, as fresh manure can burn tender roots or introduce weeds. Mix chicken manure with cow or horse manure for balanced nutrition, and avoid using pet waste in gardens meant for food. After spreading, water the garden thoroughly to help nutrients seep in. Over the years, this practice transforms poor soil into fertile ground, supporting lush harvests and reducing the need for synthetic fertilizers. If you have extra, trade, or share with neighbors, healthy soil benefits the whole community. Goat milk and lye bar soap. Handcrafted goat milk and lye soap is a staple on Amish homesteads, valued for its gentle cleansing and rich lather. To make your own, slowly mix lye into cooled goat milk, then combine with melted animal fat or coconut oil. Stir until thick, pour into molds, and let cure for several weeks in a cool, dry place. The finished bars are perfect for washing hands, laundry, and even as a gentle shampoo. For extra scent or exfoliation, add dried herbs, ground oats, or a few drops of peppermint oil before molding. If you're new to soap making, always wear gloves and goggles when handling lye. Leftover soap ends can be melted down and poured into small molds for travel-size bars. This homemade soap lasts much longer than commercial brands and makes a thoughtful, practical gift for friends and neighbors. Rainwater for washing. Saving rainwater is a classic Amish hack for both economy and sustainability. Barrels are set up beneath roof gutters to collect every drop during storms. This naturally soft water works wonderfully for washing clothes, rinsing dishes, and bathing, as it creates a better lather and leaves fewer mineral deposits. Let the first 5 minutes of rainfall rinse debris from the roof, then divert water into your barrel. Keep barrels covered to prevent mosquitoes and debris. If you're washing produce, use rainwater to rinse dirt from carrots or potatoes before storage. For longer-term use, filter and boil rainwater before drinking. Place a bucket at every corner of the house to collect even more, and use what you gather for watering garden beds during dry spells. Regularly clean your barrels to prevent algae or bacteria growth. With this simple system, you'll cut costs and always have water handy for cleaning and chores. Wooden pre-rinse bowl. In Amish kitchens, a wooden pre-rinse bowl is a classic tool for stretching water and keeping the kitchen tidy. Before washing dishes, scraps are scraped into the bowl, and each item is quickly dunked to remove loose food. This saves water, keeps the wash basin cleaner, and prevents grease from building up in the sink. Wooden bowls are sturdy, don't scratch plates, and are easy to wash out after each meal. They also double as prep bowls for peeling vegetables or shelling peas. To prevent odors or bacteria, rinse the bowl with hot water and occasionally scrub with coarse salt and lemon. Dry thoroughly to keep the wood from warping. When used daily, this simple tool extends the life of dishwater, keeps dish duty fast, and saves soap. If you don't have a wooden bowl, a large enamel or ceramic basin also works perfectly well for this thrifty practice. Bar soap over chemicals. Amish families consistently choose bar soap over bottled chemical cleaners for washing hands, laundry, and even dishes. Homemade bar soaps, often made with lye, fat, and natural scents, are cheaper, longer lasting, and far gentler on skin. One bar can be grated and dissolved for liquid soap or used directly as a stain stick. You'll also avoid buying plastic bottles and harsh additives. Bars are stored in wooden racks to dry between uses, making them last even longer. For an extra cleaning boost, sprinkle borax or washing soda on the soap before scrubbing stubborn stains. Bar soap can also be used to mark fabric for sewing or lubricate stuck zippers. For laundry, rub the bar directly onto soiled collars or cuffs before tossing clothes in the wash. Experiment with different bar recipes, adding oatmeal or herbs for extra skin softening benefits, a sustainable upgrade for nearly every cleaning task. Natural reflectives for floors. To brighten their homes without electric lighting, Amish homemakers use natural reflectives on floors. Think polished wood, scrubbed stone, or light-hued rugs. A weekly mopping with a vinegar water solution and a touch of linseed oil brings out the natural shine and amplifies daylight streaming through windows. Clean, polished floors help bounce light around, making rooms feel larger and warmer, especially in winter. For an extra reflective touch, use a soft cloth to buff the floor after mopping, focusing on worn spots. Try light-colored woven rag rugs to add comfort and enhance the effect. Avoid heavy carpets that trap dirt and dull the glow. To keep polished floors gleaming, set rules for shoes off indoors and shake rugs outside regularly. Every month, reapply a little oil to wood floors for lasting luster. A well-tended floor is both beautiful and energy-saving in an Amish home. Crushed crackers as meat binder. Stretching a pound of meat to feed a big family is second nature in Amish cooking. Instead of breadcrumbs, crushed crackers, especially stale or broken ones, are used as a flavorful, thrifty binder in meatloaf, burgers, or meatballs. Crackers add subtle salt and texture while soaking up juices, making dishes moist and tender. Simply place crackers in a clean towel or bag and crush with a rolling pin, then stir into your ground meat mixture with eggs and seasoning. For variety, try mixing in crushed cornflakes or oatmeal if you're out of crackers. This trick is perfect for using up pantry odds and ends. If you want to boost flavor even more, add a pinch of onion powder or fresh herbs to the mix. Crushed crackers also make an easy topping for casseroles. Just toss with a little butter and sprinkle before baking for extra crunch. Poor man's steak. Have you tried this dish? Poor man's steak is a favorite Amish comfort food designed to make the most of simple ingredients. Start by mixing ground beef or a blend of beef and pork with crushed crackers, eggs, chopped onions, and a little milk. Shape into thick patties, then brown them in a skillet. Arrange in a baking dish. Cover with mushroom or onion gravy and bake until tender. The crackers stretch the meat, making it go further while soaking up flavor. Serve with mashed potatoes or noodles for a hearty meal that fills up the whole table. For extra richness, add a bit of grated cheese or a sprinkle of herbs to the meat mixture. If you have leftovers, slice and fry the patties for breakfast the next day. With this dish, even the simplest cuts become a memorable family supper, frugal, filling, and loved by all. Repurpose gravy in casseroles. In Amish kitchens, nothing is wasted, not even leftover gravy. Rather than tossing what remains after Sunday dinner, Amish cooks save gravy in a jar and use it as a flavor booster for casseroles throughout the week. Add a scoop to egg noodles, vegetable bakes, or a pan of scalloped potatoes before baking. The rich drippings add moisture and depth, binding ingredients together and turning simple leftovers into something special. If your gravy is too thick, thin it with a splash of broth or milk. For extra texture, stir in some chopped cooked meat or roasted vegetables. Store cooled gravy in the fridge and use within 3 days to keep flavors fresh. When you make gravy next time, double the batch on purpose. You'll always have an instant shortcut for quick, hearty meals. It's a small habit that can rescue dry casseroles and cut down on food waste at the same time. Bulk cane syrup sweetener. Amish families often buy cane syrup in bulk for a reliable, affordable sweetener that works in everything from baking to table syrup. Cane syrup is made from evaporated cane juice and has a mild, rich flavor. Store it in large glass jugs or jars with tight-fitting lids to keep it fresh and prevent crystallization. Drizzle over pancakes, mix into bread dough, or blend with mustard for a quick meat glaze. If you need brown sugar, simply stir a tablespoon of cane syrup into a cup of white sugar and mix well. In tea or coffee, a small spoonful of syrup adds sweetness and a hint of caramel. To make pouring easier, keep a small pitcher of syrup at hand for breakfast. If you want to try homemade, boil down cane juice slowly, skimming off foam for a pure, old-fashioned taste. It's a staple that makes meals a little sweeter every day. Wood-fired convection baking. Long before electric ovens, Amish bakers mastered wood-fired convection baking for even, beautiful results. In a wood-fired stove, fire is built in a separate chamber or below the baking space. As the oven heats, hot air circulates, creating convection that cooks bread and pastries evenly without burning the bottoms. Keep a thermometer handy to track the oven temperature and use flat stones or bricks to help distribute heat. For a golden crust, brush loaves with a little milk or beaten egg before sliding them in. Rotate pans halfway through baking for extra insurance against hot spots. When baking pies or cookies, try stacking multiple trays. Wood-fired convection allows for more, even baking of several layers at once. Use thin, dry hardwood for the cleanest burn, and keep the firebox swept out regularly. The flavors you get from this old-fashioned method simply can't be matched by modern appliances. Diesel hydraulic workshop tools. In Amish workshops, diesel-powered hydraulic systems are a clever solution for running heavy tools without direct electricity. A small diesel engine powers a central hydraulic pump, which then supplies fluid pressure to saws, planers, lathes, and other machinery. This setup lets multiple tools operate from one engine, keeping energy costs low and maintenance straightforward. Always check fluid levels and filter hydraulic oil regularly for smooth operation. If you need to move the system between shops, portable engines can be mounted on skids or small trailers. In cold weather, let the engine warm up before putting tools to work, ensuring the hydraulic fluid flows freely. For added flexibility, hook up laundry equipment, water pumps, or even small lifts to the same system. With careful scheduling and teamwork, a whole community can share one setup, making even big projects manageable and affordable. Community Black Box Phone. To balance tradition with modern needs, many Amish communities install a shared black box phone at the edge of the property or in a central location. The phone sits in a simple shed or box, shielded from weather, and is used only for emergencies or necessary business. It's powered by a small solar panel or rechargeable battery, keeping it off the electric grid. Family members take turns checking messages and returning calls, ensuring privacy and respect for boundaries. To keep usage minimal, the ringer is often turned low or off. Callers must leave a message and wait for a return call. For a quick how-to, post a clear set of instructions inside the box, including emergency numbers and directions for local services. If you're setting up a community phone, hold a family meeting to set ground rules. This shared resource helps maintain community ties while limiting outside distractions and expenses. Reflective tape on buggies. Staying safe on country roads is vital, so Amish families use strips of bright reflective tape on their buggies. The tape is cut into rectangles or triangles and pressed firmly onto the back and sides of the carriage, catching headlights and making the buggy clearly visible after dark. It's important to start with a clean, dry surface to ensure the tape sticks well. Check the tape regularly for fading or peeling, especially after a harsh winter or a muddy spring. For extra safety, add reflective tape to the harness shafts, wheel spokes, or even the tops of buggy doors. Some families reinforce visibility by using a battery-free reflective triangle or an oil lantern. If you notice the tape losing its shine, wipe it with a damp cloth or replace the sections that no longer reflect light. Always keep extra tape handy for quick repairs before heading out. Outhouse newspaper wipe. Using newspaper as a wipe in the outhouse has been a thrifty tradition in Amish homes for generations. Newspapers are torn into squares and stacked neatly in a covered container to keep them dry and bug-free. Before use, crumple each sheet to soften it and make it more comfortable. The best pages are soft classifieds, comics, or old catalogs. Always keep the paper stack covered, especially in summer humidity, and replace with fresh papers regularly. After use, deposit the newspaper directly into the pit or compost heap if safe for your area, or keep a separate can for burning. For extra comfort, keep a small bar of homemade soap and a water jug nearby for washing up. Ask neighbors for their old newspapers to keep your supply steady. As a quick tip, rotate your stack every week to use the oldest sheets first and keep a backup pile just in case. Manual washboard laundry. Hand washing laundry with a washboard is a classic Amish chore that saves on electricity and is gentle on fabrics. Start by soaking clothes in hot, soapy water. Scrub heavily soiled areas against the washboard's ribbed surface, working up a lather. Rinse well in clean water, twice if possible, to remove all soap and dirt. Hang garments on a clothesline to dry in the sun, which also helps whiten and freshen them. To prevent the washboard from splintering, sand it smooth every few months and let it dry thoroughly after each use. For really tough stains, sprinkle a little borax or baking soda on the garment before scrubbing. Rotate through your wardrobe so each item gets a break between washes and mend small holes before they become bigger problems. Wearing gloves during cold weather can protect your hands. Try using a large wash tub to soak several items at once for added efficiency. Hook and eye closures. Many Amish garments rely on hook and eye closures instead of buttons or zippers for a simple, sturdy fasten. These metal fasteners are sewn onto dresses, aprons, and pants at strategic points like waistbands or collars. Use strong thread and double stitch the hooks and eyes in place for long-lasting hold. When laundering, always fasten hooks to keep them from snagging or bending in the wash. For extra strength, use 2 or 3 hooks on heavier garments, or pair hooks with snaps for children's clothes. If a hook gets bent, gently reshape it with pliers and keep a supply of extras for repairs. Test each closure regularly to make sure it's still secure. A handy tip: sew a small reinforcement patch behind the fabric where you place the hook and eye for added durability, especially on work clothes or items that get frequent wear. Home-sewn thrift fabric clothes. Amish families excel at making new clothes from old fabrics, saving money and giving garments a second life. Old dresses, curtains, or tablecloths are washed, cut, and recut into useful patterns for shirts, aprons, or quilts. Choose sturdy, plain fabric for the outer layer, saving lighter or patterned scraps for linings or pockets. Double seams on high-stress areas like shoulders and underarms help garments last longer. Keep a box of smaller scraps for patching, quilting, or doll clothes. Add a decorative stitch or embroidered monogram for a personal touch. If you're learning to sew, start with an apron or simple skirt to build skill before moving on to more complex pieces. Trade fabric and patterns with friends to get new ideas and stretch your supplies further. For a neat finish, always press seams with a warm iron before sewing and label each finished item with the date and your initials. Kerosene or gas lamp heating for appliances. Did you know that before electricity became widespread, kerosene and gas lamps weren't just for lighting, but also used to power everything from irons to butter churns? In many Amish homes, this tradition continues today. Specially designed appliances like irons, incubators, and even coffee pots are fitted to sit directly atop gas or kerosene lamp chimneys, absorbing steady, even heat. Always keep lamps well trimmed and filled with clean fuel for safety and consistent heat. For an extra tip, place a thin metal trivet between the lamp and appliance to prevent soot marks and distribute warmth more evenly. Check wicks regularly for wear and store kerosene in clearly labeled, tightly sealed containers away from direct sunlight. Whenever you use lamp-powered appliances, make sure to ventilate the area. Old-fashioned doesn't mean unsafe. For efficient results, preheat the appliance before use for smoother operation. Propane or kerosene water heaters. Without access to electric hot water heaters, many Amish homes use propane or kerosene models. These tank heaters are reliable and easy to operate. Just light the pilot, adjust the temperature, and you have hot water for baths, dishes, or laundry. Propane heaters warm up quickly and are perfect for homes off the grid, while kerosene tanks can double as room heaters during winter. To save fuel, heat water only as needed and insulate pipes to retain warmth. For maintenance, check connections for leaks and flush the tank every few months to remove sediment. If you want even more efficiency, pair your heater with a solar pre-warming system that collects hot water on sunny days, cutting fuel use in half. Always keep a supply of fuel safely stored outdoors, and use a thermometer to avoid water that's too hot for children or delicate fabrics. Diesel generator-run washers. In Amish communities where grid power isn't available, diesel generators often power large washers and wringers. A single generator can run laundry machines, lights, and small shop tools at the same time, especially on wash day. To keep things efficient, plan to wash full loads only and stagger other generator-powered chores to avoid overloading. Always allow the generator to warm up before use and shut it down as soon as chores are complete. For extra fuel savings, use the generator to pump water into a storage tank before washing so you don't have to run it constantly. Regularly check oil, air filters, and belts for smoother operation and longer life. Store diesel in approved containers away from heat sources and never run a generator indoors. If you want to get the most out of your wash day, schedule laundry for sunny days so you can hang clothes to dry right after washing. Salt scrub for cast iron maintenance. Amish cooks treasure their cast iron pans, and a simple salt scrub keeps them in top shape. After cooking, sprinkle coarse salt into the warm pan and use a folded towel or stiff brush to scrub away food bits. No soap needed. Salt acts as a gentle abrasive, preserving the seasoning while lifting grease and residue. Wipe clean with a dry cloth, then heat briefly to evaporate any remaining moisture. Rub the pan with a thin layer of oil before storing to prevent rust. If food sticks badly, add a little hot water to loosen it, but always dry the pan thoroughly. For a deeper clean, mix salt with a few drops of vinegar before scrubbing. This method keeps cast iron slick, shiny, and non-stick without chemicals. For long-term storage, place a paper towel between stacked pans to absorb moisture and protect the surface. Vinegar rinse for hard water laundry. Amish families often deal with hard water, which can leave laundry stiff and gray. A vinegar rinse is their secret weapon for soft, bright clothes. Add half a cup of white vinegar to the final rinse cycle of your wash. The vinegar neutralizes minerals, dissolves soap residue, and naturally softens fabric. No need for commercial softeners. It also helps break up any leftover odors, leaving clothes fresh and crisp. For best results, pour vinegar into the fabric softener compartment or directly into the rinse water, never onto dry clothes. If your towels or linens feel especially stiff, soak them in a vinegar water solution for an hour before washing. To keep your washing machine free of buildup, run an empty cycle with hot water and a cup of vinegar once a month. For extra freshness, add a drop of lavender oil to the rinse. Your laundry will smell clean and stay soft.